These are the 32 things we discovered during the first week, the 2024 NFL season. 1. With 6 rookie quarterbacks selected in the top 12 rounds of this year's draft, the 2024 season was always going to be shaped in part by them. 3 rookie quarterbacks, Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears, Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders, and Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos, took the field on Sunday. This is the 4th time since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger that at least as many rookie quarterbacks have opened the season under center. Despite poor performance, they have time to fix their mistakes, just not as much as first-year quarterbacks did. Number 2. Although it wasn't ideal, Williams became the first quarterback selected first overall make an NFL debut in 22 years, with David Carr of the Houston Texans being the last to succeed. Despite Williams's poor performance of 14 of 29 passes for 93 yards in a 24-17 victory propelled by Chicago's special teams and defense, the optimistic Bears will triumph. 2A. Between Carr and Williams, 15 quarterbacks were chosen first in draft. Their combined record was 0-14-1. 3. 10 teams, 4 of which were successful, started different quarterbacks in their 2023 games than they did in their 2023 openers. Enter for free to win $5,000 in USA Today's Pro Football Survivor Pool. Register right now. 4. Yards gained on a single catch by Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. He receives this vote for the least successful rookie debut. 5. More superior than Bill Belichick? Alright. However, Jerod Mayo, 38, a rookie center for the New England Patriots, who played under Bill Belichick in 2014 and won a ring with the team, has a higher winning rate, at least for a very short period of time. Mayo defeated the hopeless Cincinnati Bengals 16-10. 6. To be fair, Ryan Rakow, the rookie punter for Cincinnati, wasn't exactly a couch potato. In his first 4 NFL punts, including an 80-yarder, he averaged 64.5 yards. Number 7. And what about the other 7 head coaches in the league who are making their debuts with new teams? They finished with a 2-5 record, with victories coming from Mike McDonald of the Seattle Seahawks and Jim Harbaugh of the Los Angeles Chargers. The Bolts defeated the Las Vegas Raiders and their rookie coach, Antonio Pierce, whose temporary tag was lifted in the summer. 8. The most costly error on Sunday, Travis Etienne. But your fumble in the third quarter when you were heading for the end zone and the Jacksonville Jaguars had a 24-7 lead was the most costly error of the day. Tyreek Hill, the wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, scored an 80-yard touchdown on the next drive. With a field goal right away, the Fins prevailed, 20-17. For Hill, it was a pleasant break from an otherwise difficult day, which included spending some time in handcuffs after a traffic infraction he committed on his way to Hard Rock Stadium in South Florida before kickoff. Hill was his usual field-flipping self on the field, with 7 receptions for 130 yards and a long touchdown, while the details of an apparently regrettable incident were worked out. One of the involved police officers has already been placed on administrative duty, and Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, vowed to conduct his own investigation on Sunday morning. He is currently 2 short of Devin Hester, Hall of Famer's all-time record, but he has 12 in his career that have covered at least 75 yards. 10. Apples and oranges. But amid a barrage of Sunday morning headlines, Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott's new contract, which makes him the highest-paid player in NFL history, shared the limelight with Hill's regrettable run-in with the Miami-Dade police. After signing a 4-year, $240 million agreement, Prescott, first $60 million player in the league, passed for 179 yards and 1 score on a quieter day in the passing game. These were modest totals after he lofted a league-high 36 touchdown passes in 2023. 11. Dallas's defense, now led by experienced coordinator Mike Zimmer, was the main story of the team's 33-17 victory against the Cleveland Browns. It gave up only 230 yards, sacked quarterback Deshaun Watson 6 times, and intercepted him twice. TB12. Oh, and there was also news from Cleveland's Huntington Bank Field on Sunday. Tom Brady made his premiere as Fox's top NFL commentator. Early comebacks? What difference does it make? Brady has already secured another Super Bowl spot, and Fox will televise the action from Super Sunday in New Orleans in February. 13. In related news, it's reported that Drew Bledsoe, former colleague of Brady's on the Patriots, greatly enjoyed supporting TB12 to Tony Romo, former Cowboys standout who now broadcasts for network rival CBS. However, we can say with certainty that this is the case. On a segment on ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown, Bledsoe said, "Romo, you know this is true. As soon as he got started, he began to think highly of himself. He was no longer the observant, questioning man. That was what set him apart from Tommy. Romo suddenly had all the answers." 14. If Chris Boswell, a kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, doesn't earn AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, an inquiry is required. Boswell led his side to an 8-point victory over 50 yards by scoring all 18 points, including half of his 6 field goals. In the fourth quarter, he also replaced the injured Cameron Johnston to deliver a clever 43-yard punt. 14A. 19 field goals of at least 50 yards have been kicked around the league as of Sunday night, setting a record for any week in league. Justin Fields, a native of the Atlanta region, started for Pittsburgh in lieu of the still limited quarterback Russell Wilson calf. Early in the summer, there was much conjecture that Fields would be a target for the Falcons. Although Fields wasn't extraordinary on Sunday, he outperformed rival Kirk Cousins and was more effective. 17 for 23, 156 yards passing, 57 yards running, 0 turnovers. It will be intriguing to watch how fast, if at all, the Steelers are ready to return to Wilson after an exciting, if unequal, training camp duel. 15A. We can ask Pittsburgh coach Mike Tomlin on Tuesday. 16. In the meantime, you can be sure that soon enough, whether justly or not, the Michael Penix Jr. truthers will be demanding that Cousins be fired from the Falcons after his 2-interception debut. And it's not. 17. It may be beneficial if some Falcons supporters came out to cheer on the home side instead of allowing Steelers players like OLB TJ Watt to overwhelm and energize Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 18. New Oakland offense. Before being dismissed, Arthur Smith led Atlanta for 3 seasons before receiving a tiny amount of retribution on Sunday. If Wilson can defeat the Broncos in Denver during Week 2, he may exact revenge next weekend. 19 On Sunday, the New Orleans Saints scored their highest points in the season's opening game with 47. Furthermore, it does matter that the outburst happened against the still inferior Carolina Panthers. 20. In yet another first, CB Alontae Taylor made history by becoming the first defensive back to record 3 sacks in a single game in the Saints' 58-year existence. See every NFL story, both on and off the field. Subscribe to the 4th and Monday emails from USAT Today. 21. Despite losing to Seattle, the Broncos became the first team to record multiple safety in a game in 7 years, despite the fact that they lost at Seattle. 22. Preseason and opening weekend have shown little to no use of the league's new, dynamic kickoff. However, the anomaly emerged on Sunday in Orchard Park, New York, when Brandon Codrington of the Buffalo Bills returned a kickoff 53 yards. Codrington was narrowly surpassed by DJ Dallas of the Cardinals, whose 96-yard touchdown was the first kickoff returned all the way under a 2024 format that was greatly influenced by the former XFL's handling of the risky play. 22A. Before all of the openers were finished, more kickoff return yards were accumulated than in any week of the previous season, demonstrating the statistical significance, the new regulation. 23. What a remarkable turnaround for Chargers running back J.K. Dobbins, who had missed 42 of 51 regular season games due to a variety of knee and Achilles problems sustained in Baltimore over the previous 3 seasons. However, always remember his Bolts debut, in which he scored on a 12-yard dash in Harbaugh's thrilling debut and ran for 135 yards, the second highest total of his career, on only 10 second-half touches. 24. Who says a Buckeye, Dobbins, and a Wolverine Harbaugh can't work well together? It's excellent. We are on the same team now, said Dobbins, an Ohio State player who once scared Harbaugh's Michigan squad. That's all I can say, and we're going to keep working together. 25. Following 4 touchdown passes in a 37-20 victory against the Commanders, quarterback Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Bucks is on track to throw for an NFL-high 68 touchdowns this season. It's early, by the way. 26. There's no doubt that the Philadelphia Eagles offense in 2024 will look quite different. And not only because running back Saquon Barkley, who scored 3 touchdowns in Friday night's victory over the Green Bay Packers in Brazil, is back, and retiring tight end Jason Kelce isn't. 27. According to Next Gen Stats, the club that used the least amount of pre-snap motion, 35.1%, in the league in 2023 almost quadrupled it in OC Kellen Moore's first game coordinating plays. 27A. As for Barkley, the Hall of Fame wide receiver Terrell Owens was the previous Eagles player to score 3 times in his debut with the team. Barkley is the first to do it in 20 years. 28. Matt LaFleur does not have a WR1 for the Pack. Maybe that appraisal turns out to be accurate. However, Jayden Reed undoubtedly made history in Week 1 by being the first player in the Super Bowl era, since 1966, to have touchdowns spanning at least 30 yards in both receiving and running. 29. Who was the NFL's best rushing quarterback ever? Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens broke quarterback Michael Vick's league record by rushing for 122 yards on Thursday night. It was Jackson's 55th career run of at least 50 yards on the ground. The only player in his position with 1,000-plus rushing yards in 2 seasons is Jackson. 29A. Jackson must accumulate 730 more running yards this year to surpass Vick's all-time quarterback record of 6,109. 30. Get used to seeing players wear guardian caps during games. James Daniels of the Steelers and Jabril Peppers of the Patriots, 2 of the first to adopt the off-season permit. 31. The week's uniform notes. Keep in mind that, if you look good, you feel good. As Deion Sanders is renowned for saying, play well while you're feeling good. They paid generously. Play well. 31A. Both the Seahawks, throwbacks, and the Eagles' new black outfit to win over the locals in São Paulo looked fantastic and prevailed. 31B. Not at all. 31C. After Sunday's game, it sure didn't seem like Minnesota Vikings standout Justin Jefferson wanted fellow LSU graduate Malik Neighbors' Giants jersey. 32. Josh Allen, quarterback for the Bills, is this week's touchdowns MVP on 2 passes and 2 rushes in an offense that will likely be less explosive considering how many wideouts were cut this summer. 32A. Allen now shares the all-time record with Hall of Famer Steve Young, with 4 career games with multiple throwing and running touchdowns.